All right, friends, welcome to the channel. Always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. Buckle up, strap in, hold on to your hats and your glasses as we blow the lid off another hot topic. Why, you ask? Well, of course, I'm going to tell you. Nobody else will. Rainbows and sunshine. You guys have to be very awake, very alert right now. Stay away from the economic Kool-Aid. Millions of people drank it and they're in big trouble. And none as big as Airbnb. They drank the real estate Kool-Aid and they are in massive, massive trouble. This could, in fact, be our Black Swan event. And before we get started today, let me let you know that we do also have our sponsor, Noble Gold, a great company. I think there's never been a more important time to hedge your investments against inflation. It's something that I do, and that's why I've partnered with Noble Gold, a very well-known and trusted company. More about them later. But Airbnb, my friends, I'm seeing them starting to pick up headlines now, trending online big time. Another great real estate channel that's warning people is Reventure Consulting. Nick, I know a lot of you watch that. I watch it myself. He's great at breaking down the data. And while I would say experience will outweigh data, I appreciate his data. I believe he's definitely got a pretty good temperature check of things that are going on, and I really appreciate his work. But even I guess he shared in one of his recent videos that he tweeted some data that he had found on Airbnb's bookings being down like 50%. And that, boy, set a bunch of stuff in motion. Airbnb contacted him to tell him, no, that's not true. And then some of the major news networks even had him on, I think, for the first time ever, getting his take on this, all because of a viral tweet. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. I believe the truth is probably more on his side than it's not. And then I saw my good friend Travis at Real Estate Mindset report on what's going on in Las Vegas right now, is squashing Airbnbs there. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But the realities are we have some big issues right now. Airbnb, and here's the challenging part. As soon as mainstream media gets a hold of these narratives, if it bleeds, it leads. It's not forward thinking, critical thinking. It's handed down from a newsroom for ratings. So, they can basically spark a forest fire with these narratives that could completely collapse the economy. I've always said, throw a dart at an economic challenge map. You're going to hit something threatening it. But we have even more than just the health and the fitness of the economy and the markets itself threatening it now. Now we have to contend with the internet and mainstream media also being a potential black swan for these markets. I believe Airbnb could be, in fact, a black swan. We just need one bad data set to really come in and just blindside this thing. We know investors drink the Kool-Aid. Basically, Airbnb was just geared towards, retail investors, people like you or me that wanted to, maybe get into some investment properties. And they were very shaky. You see, it's very speculative. And if you've bought your property in the biggest bubble ever produced in world history, and then all of a sudden you're not getting bookings, you're on borrowed time. So, the writing is clearly on the wall. And we're just scratching the surface. We always talk about the dominoes. Which ones will start to fall first? I believe the biggest at-risk group in America is anybody, whether you're retail, Main Street, Wall Street. If you bought in the crisis, you are very exposed right now because your low interest rate will not save you, especially if you are an Airbnb property that if you can't get Airbnb style bookings and rates out of your property, long-term tenants won't get it done because your mortgage payment is higher than what an average rent range would do. That's why here at this channel, we always look at standard amount down, today's interest rate. What would that property rent for, even if it's not a rental? It tells us the health and the fitness of our house. If you want to know the true value of your house, you should know what it would rent for. You got to know what somebody would be willing to rent for that house. Had I done that in 2008 with my purchase, which I didn't even purchase at the top of the market, it came down by 25% before I entered in. Maybe I would have still hung on to that property. I ended up dumping that property, rebounded from it, learned a very good lesson. I don't regret it now, of course, because what I've learned, but I certainly don't want to go do the same thing over, expecting a different result. That would be the definition of insanity. And that's in fact what millions of people did in this bubble. Somehow thought this one would be different, either had short-term or long-term memory loss, or simply drank the economic and stimulus Kool-Aid. A quick break from the program to bring you today's video sponsor. I'd never suggest anybody do you anything that I'm not doing or willing to do myself. I own gold, and I think you should as well. Let's hear from Noble Gold. The U.S. dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s when the dollar decoupled from gold, and the government seems bent on continuing the tradition. From now until after the elections, the government can print as much money as they want. The last time they did that, inflation went up 9%. Gold is the one asset that's proven to withstand inflation. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. You'll also get a 24-karat quarter-ounce gold standard coin for free. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com or visit the link in the description of this video. All right, a big thank you to Noble Gold. Always be careful in investing. There's always going to be risk. Now let's get back to the show. One of the things I was thinking about with Airbnb, we're going to see more and more cities pretty much shut down Airbnbs. I've already seen it in my city. I live in a touristy destination city where they've pretty much shut down Airbnbs pretty big time too. You got to do at least a 30-day rental. No short-term rentals in most homeowner associations or condo complexes. You're not having an Airbnb. So that pretty much stifled. That was one domino to fall for Airbnb. But I believe personally, like Vegas, make no mistake about it. Vegas has always had the mob and the mafia and a lot of ugly underbelly in Vegas. I mean, think about it, friends. It's not known for singing too loud in church over in Vegas. They are a very big crime city, and gambling and just a lot of stuff going on in Vegas. Well, of course, if these hotels and casinos, they do not. If you do not want to take a bite out of their bookings, and that's in fact what Airbnb was doing in Vegas. They were taking a bite out of the hotel's bookings. They're not going to have that there. They're going to squash you. They will find a way. Somebody will have deep pockets and pay the right people to get that shut down very, very quick. That's what we saw in Vegas. And this will continue to trend. If you live in a big city with hotels, they do not want Airbnb there. So this is a big problem for Airbnb. I think moving forward, we're going to continue to see not the best news come out of Airbnb as the air is being let out of this asset bubble. And make no mistake about it, we've talked about this many times. The U.S. housing market is the biggest asset class in the world. It's capable of crushing not only the U.S. economy, the global financial markets. The global economy will be affected by the U.S. housing market if and when we lose it. There will be attempts. If this forest fire starts in the U.S. housing market, make no mistake about it, I believe there will be attempts, bailout attempts. But we're already running on fumes. Such a fragile economy to start with and so many fires to put out. I mean, take your pick. I don't think we can put out every fire that we're going to have to contend with. But when it comes to the housing market, it's a very polarizing issue. There'll be a lot of upheaval. People start losing their homes. We are working backwards. We've got everything very, very backwards right now in America, from trying to stamp out the homelessness problem to the social and political climate. I mean, throw a dart at anything, and you're hitting something threatening these markets. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as somebody who wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the biggest artificially created housing market ever produced in world history with zero organic growth, a casino climate, market manipulation, is probably not going to sustain itself. Many people poured in millions to these markets and bought properties they thought they were going to be able to Airbnb. As the economy kind of comes grinding to a halt, less and less people are willing to go rent Airbnb. That is bad. And then when you see more cities just straight up squash Airbnbs from being in their neighborhoods, that's strike two. You're one strike away from a complete collapse of this platform. I'm going to be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video on your screen, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.